So apparently KSP2 Early Access is coming out on Friday, February 24th of 2023. And thanks to inspiration from other YouTubers like Carnasa or Znatrix, I will be creating a series lasting till KSP2 Early Access comes out. And thanks to this handy dandy map that the developer shared with us on the date that it was announced, this is how the trend is going to go. So let's get into it. Hello everyone, and I'm Andrew the Astronaut, and today we're going to be beginning a new series called Farewell KSP. Yeah, that's a good name. Sorry that I've been away for a very long time. I had COVID over the winter break and have been recovering, and now I feel like I'm good enough to make video again. And since KSP2 Early Access is coming out in a few weeks, I decided that I should probably start a series by now, and big thanks to Carnasa for inspiring this series. I'll leave a card to his video up here, and you could go watch that after this video. Right now, I'm just configuring the settings. Like, I'm genuinely bad at KSP Career. Like, I'm bad at a lot of things, but KSP Career is just one of those things that I'm just not good at. So I'm just making the settings a little bit easier on me. The goal by the end of this episode is to get a Kerbal in orbit and have over 1 million funds. And that shouldn't be too hard, but I haven't tried a KSP career save in a while, so I might be a little rusty, but genuinely, I think that I could provide good content to you guys. So I'm basically setting up the advanced settings now, and now we could check out over accept, and we could finally start the save. So first of all, we're going to go into mission control and just accept all the contracts that we can. We can only select 2 for the moment because of the level of our mission control. And let's just speed run building the first career or science mode rocket that you ever build. Cue the music. This is basically everyone's first rocket in a career or science mode save. The Soggy Cheeto one. Alright, let's launch this thing. I mean, normally, like, this is going to be super easy. We're just going to grind some science, go on EVA, get as science grinding as possible, and then we can launch. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention, I'm playing this save with Restock. A guy on one of my videos commented asking if I should use Restock, so I'm like, cool. I tried Restock. It actually looks pretty good. Some of the Restock textures are a little outdated compared to the newer 1.12.3, 4, and 5 textures, but they still look really good, especially the fuel tanks and engines, except the solid rocket motors. I mean, this one looks like the old ones. We break the fins, but it's okay. We could just gather all the science we can, science spam as I call it, or a lot of other people, and we could go unlock the first few early nodes. I mean, I'm not a career guy, but I am a science mode guy. I am very good at science mode. We're going to go into mission control, accept the other 2 contracts, and we could upgrade our mission control and our launch pad, and apparently we don't have enough money to do anything else, so we're just going to create a suborbital rocket called the Sub-1. Yep, I'm very good at naming. And now that we have the Terrier, which is significantly better than the Flea or any other engine that we have, I've been experimenting with a lot more of the Restock stuff, and they look amazing. They look like Realism Overhaul, just for stock. And I mean, I'm terrible at Realism Overhaul. I might not be that good in career mode, but I'm terrible at Realism Overhaul, let me tell you that. I mean, other people like N9 Gaming or the Bearded Penguin are perfect masters at this, but I'm not. So I really like these kind of textures on the stock design, and this is our launch of the Sub-1 with Jeb at the helms. Quick rules for the series: quick saving and reverting flights are allowed, mostly because of test flights, but if a Kerbal dies in a genuine mission that I have declared that is a mission, no reverting, they're dead forever. Also, I'm removing 50 science and 500,000 funds every time that we lose a Kerbal, because like there have to be consequences, because I don't want to be a cruel person, unlike some people I can mention. Don't take that offensively. It's just a joke. And after our sub 1 has finished its mission, it is now using the rest of its fuel it has just to burn retrograde, just to make it a little less toasty on reentry. And I guess that kind of worked, though it barely changed anything. But I mean, if it works, it works. In fact, I encountered 0 aerodynamic heating during this descent. So is it really a suborbital flight? Maybe, but maybe not. And yeah, the parachutes look awesome with Restock. I think this is my favorite parachute I've seen so far. And this is just amazing. Like, look at it. It looks like actual parachutes. No offense, KSP devs, but this looks way better. And now we're going to splash down again in the ocean. Let's just hope that we aren't littering debris in the ocean, because that'd be kind of bad for our image as a company. Alright, we splashed down kind of hard, but we're just going to take some more and do some more science. And we can recover the vessel. And I guess, look at that, we gained like 500 science. So we're just going to unlock some of the really important nodes. Some of the ones like aviation aren't as important. So we're just going to go back in the VAB and build our new rocket. This is just the Science Junior rocket, because I forgot to take a Science Junior report on the ground. Also, mostly because I couldn't, because, you know, Jeb. He's Jeb. And not Bob. So we're just going to recover that. We gained a little extra science. And we had enough to unlock landing. I really should have gone for advanced flight control, though. And here we are building our first orbital vessel, the Orb 1. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Look at the capsule. It's an orb. So, Orb 1. Perfect. But one thing that messed this entire thing up is its part count. And you'll see soon why. Because I still only have a level 1 VAB. So, I'm restricted to only 30 parts. And that's going to become a pain. And I'm definitely not copying the EUS from NASA's SLS Block 2. This is much smaller than that, though the Poodle engine really looks like the 4 RL-10s that it looks like in the EUS. We're going to build the first stage, which is kind of big, I guess, for a orbital rocket, but I mean, just look at it. It looks so cool. Just admiring all the Restock boat tails. Just going to attach a few boosters. The booster reskins on Restock aren't really that impressive. Like, probably I could have done that, but it's still better than stock. We're just gonna add some more science gear and all that stuff. And, 44 out of 30 parts. Why am I so ambitious, Jeb? You don't know? Well, anyways, I guess this is now the Orb 2, and now we gotta build the Orb 1, just smaller, so... this is the moment I realized that I could zoom in much easily, because before this, I couldn't zoom in at all. Mostly because I use a Dell keyboard on a Mac, and that's like... you can't do that. But apparently you can in my situation, but it gets glitchy sometimes, so, yeah. Had a few service bays, but they weren't really working out, so we just decided to look at the gold on the fairings. So that looks really awesome. We have the service bay. We just put in the Science Junior, some mystery goos, more science. Basically compact, just not in the fairing, mostly because I don't want it getting damaged. Really a very unrealistic thing to care about in KSP, but still. This is the Orb 1, which is also going to be the final rocket that we build in this video. Because our goal this video was to reach orbit, and I also have to get this video out fast. It's currently a Sunday, February 12th, and I'm hoping that this will go up in a few hours after I record and sync the audio. And here we are adding the more classic and cool looking launch mounts. I just love the look of the launch mounts, though the red is a little bit less saturated than the ones in stock, but it still looks really cool. And we're gonna launch, but first we actually want to accept a few more contracts to gain a little bit more money, and most of them are testing contracts, and some of them we could just complete straight with the cheapest rocket on the market. Fuel tank, probe core, engine, boom, we could just do that. And that's perfect. So we're going to build our test craft, which doesn't look the best, but it'll get the job done. And yeah, this is definitely isn't going to have an equal thrust rate ratio, and we're just going to test it. but I actually made a little mishap by accidentally letting go of the staging. So now it's rolling. We lost a bunch of meaningless funds, so. I mean, it was a test, so I could have reverted, but wasn't that much funds anyway. We're just gonna take a look at the contracts one more time, accept a few more since we have max of 7 contracts now. And yeah, we're just gonna have to ferry VIPs now before we even attempt an orbital flight. The Tour 1, kind of using only the Soviet era ones because I haven't had advanced flight control enough to unlock the Gemini, I don't know. You guys all bicker about it in the comments. Let's carry this VIP up to his space destination. The waterfall prelumes are a little bit off, mostly because of the Restock skin. I think I'm missing some kind of config that I'm supposed to put, but for the first episode, it's fine. We absolutely blazed through the atmosphere, and this is kind of built more like an orbital rocket than a suborbital one. But I was crazy inefficient with it because, I mean, we're just going suborbital, and that first stage already did everything for us. So now we're just going to burn retrograde just like we did with our first suborbital launch on the Sub 1. The Tour 1 is going to detach, and we'll splash down serenely in the ocean. Hope we don't do any land landings with the orbs because then, well, we're just going to roll like an orb. So I don't really want to do land landings, only ocean splashdowns. And look at that parachute retexture. It looks so cool. There's the Mun, next target, which for the next video. So I'm just going to do cinematic zoom in, which I completely failed at because I'm not patient. And we're going to splash down. Boom. All right. So we have carried the VIP. We have a lot more money now. I think that contract gave us like so much money. We've completed the contract successfully. And now we need to complete those other 2 contracts. We still can't upgrade the VAB to its 2nd tier, but we have to accept a few more contracts, some meaningless contracts really. I don't think I accepted any anyways. We're just gonna go back, and it's time to launch the Orb 1 with its crew. But first, always check your staging, always. Here's the launch with the Bobcat at the bottom, powering this giant beast, not that big compared to the Orb 2, but it's still really good looking. And this is like standard orbit ascent. I have a tutorial on how to get your first orbit in KSP. This is a little bit easy. This is a little bit higher tech. So you can go and watch that, which I'll put a card up in right now. And that's the orbit tutorial that you can use to get your first orbit. Right now, I'm just flying the most inefficient path possible because I don't have the tracking station upgrade, so no maneuver nodes for me. I have to fly this blind. And somehow we made a successful orbit. Quite circular also. That looked really good. I mean, science on orbit, we really just need to get high above Kerbin, not low above Kerbin, because the suborbital situation does the same thing. I hope KSP2 does better with orbit being a separate situation, because I imagine that they're different, but might not be. We're just going to decouple that, and we have some fireworks that really disappointed me, but there's that cool re-entry Doppler shot. We have re-entry particle enhancer. I don't know what the mod is. I'll just put the mod list down below in the description, so any mod that you don't recognize, you could just see. So now we are going to splash down, and basically it gains a bunch of money because, I mean, I imagine going to orbit for the first time should be worth a lot of funds. And yeah, I just guess we're just going to splash down in the ocean again. No land landings this episode, and also no Kerbal deaths in this episode, which is very good. Very good. Though I hope that I could progress a little faster next episode now that I probably have enough money for the next VAB upgrade. And Jebediah is now level 1, and here's the splashdown. Doesn't that look nice? We're going to recover the vessel, and we're going to get back to the KSC, and we're going to unlock a lot more tech nodes. First, advanced flight control, because I'm done with those P-pods, and a few more nodes, and now we're officially worth 1 million funds. For all about 5 seconds, as immediately I just went and took the next VAB upgrade. So, sorry guys, but at least we still achieved the goal. We were worth $1 million at one point. The next contract, explore the Mun. And that's going to be the topic of next episode. So, I hope you all enjoyed this new series, and I am back after a long hiatus. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this is Andrew the Astronaut signing off.